Listen to the views expressed live on freeamericaradio.us or on Spreaker.com, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific. And check out Free America Radio on Facebook. For more information, email us at freeamericaradio@usa.com.
This is the Free America Radio Network. For more information, go to freeamericaradio.us.
Hey folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 12th of April, 2014. Lots of things going on, lots of things happening. A little more opinions and views from myself today, if you would like. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, hey, even if you disagree with me, it's okay. Email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Lots of things going on. I just saw something back here on my on a Facebook feed. Now I go back and it's not there. Kind of weird. And I don't know. I have to say this. I want to say, first of all, thoughts and positive energy and prayers, whatever it is you need to do, go out to the family of Robin Williams. Depression is silent and no one can hear you scream. It is something that is pretty much not talked about and still has some sort of stigma, if you will. And it's interesting, to say the least, that there are a lot of people, maybe not reported, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who have depression, either moderate or severe. And I'm sure that there are people out there who are handling it just fine. Okay? I look at it this way. So many things going on in life, so many things going on in the world, so many things going on in a person's personal life, that you don't know how much they hurt. You have no idea the pain and the suffering people go through. Oh, they may look at you and smile. They may look at you and joke around. They may look at you and their suits will be nice. Their hair will be combed just right. Everything will look just fine. You don't know what's going on in their home or in their head. You know, depression is so silent, no one can hear you scream. And it literally does tear a family up. It does tear away at the fabric of the physical person you know. Now, those close to, people who have depression know exactly what I'm talking about. And those who have suffered through it and are functioning quite well with medication or whatever it is you're doing understand it. They understand what I'm saying. But those out there who never suffered from it, who never know anyone suffering from it, who absolutely cannot even understand why people are so depressed. Why can't they just be happy? Well, okay, if you're a truck driver, if you're a nurse, if you're a school teacher, why can't you do another job? Because you don't understand it. You don't have the ability. Well, you don't have the ability to recognize that you have another option. And with depression, there's this area of darkness that that only they suffer through every day. I don't know what it is because I don't have depression. I have felt depressed and sad and terribly, down about certain things, but I don't know what true depression is. I don't know that darkness. Okay, even though I'm an actor and spent many years being many different characters and writing and all of this and creating characters with, deep secrets and high points in their life, I don't personally myself in me don't know what that darkness is. I'm a former alcoholic and drug abuser, been clean and sober for over 25 years. I don't know what that darkness of depression truly is. Spilling my guts here to you, but it is what it is. And for people to criticize anybody, to say, well, why can't they just be happy? Why can't they just get over it? Why can't they just, change and all of that? Well, you can to a point. But then when everything starts falling down around you, because of either indecisions or bad decisions or, things that happened or whatever, you begin to get into that darkness. From the people I've talked to who have had and still have depression and are functional, they say that if it wasn't for the things that they do to combat it, that darkness would overcome them. When you have depression, no one can hear you scream. And it could be your next door neighbor, it could be your teacher, it could be your friend, it could be, anybody. It could be even your sons or daughters. Your mom and dad, your aunt or your uncle, your grandpa or grandma, Could be anybody. When you got depression, no one hears you scream. Think about that one for a minute, and I'll be right back.
Tired of all the music shows on Spreaker? Too many sports shows? How about a show that matters? I recommend The Views Expressed Live. Reverend Wayne S. Pierce tells you what is really happening in the world. Well, stop listening to this and go listen to the show. The Views Expressed Live. 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific on Spreaker.com.
For all you independent artists, musicians, and filmmakers, there is a place for you. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com.
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Ah, damn politicians. My mother always told me this country would be screwed if the liberals had their way. The only sanity I get is when I listen to Jeff Wagner on the Conservative Voice, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network. Hey, folks! Welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 12th of August, 2014. The lots of things going on, lots of things happening. Do we just like roll over and say, well, you know, this is the way it is. It's just, you know, it's got to be this way for now. No. DMLdaily.com. Cartel violence infiltrates rural U.S. as police crack down in big cities. It's on Free America Radio on Facebook. Also from theexaminer.com, Chicago police chief, law-abiding gun owners corrupt, endanger public safety. Well, that's coming right out of the, Chicago police chief, guess who his boss is? Rahm Emanuel, okay, who's the Chicago mayor. All right. So there you go. Enough said on that one. VeteransToday.com, Israel unleashes death ray on Gaza. Don't know how true that is, but you might want to check that out. This is all on Free America Radio on Facebook as well. Breaking from the GatewayPundit.com, Ferguson protesters attack police cars, loot quick trip following teen killing. There's video of that as well. Yesterday I had to, because of weather and because of all that, I didn't do the Views Expressed live, and I just had to relax. I had to just relax. And the weather was bad. There's some lightning, some rain, and all that, and I didn't want, something to happen to the computer and that kind of thing. So in that moment that I had off yesterday, I just relaxed. And we can do that. Every so often we need to just step back and relax. I mean, there's no, we don't have to rush around, thinking that we have to get everything done all at once. It's like, oh my God, it's not good. We don't have to rush around, folks. We don't have to be in such a rush to where we overdo certain things. We don't have to be in that rush. Okay? We don't have to be in denial of number one, who we are, and of the life around us. We don't. We don't. And as far as I know, and as far as I can tell from the information that I've received so far in my life, life is pretty good once you take into consideration that you're not perfect. Once you take into consideration also that somebody else next to you is not perfect. And just be with the person. You don't have to get this mentality of trying to fix them or anything like that. And, oh my God, if they were just this way or... No. Just be. Just be. Don't try to change them. Don't try to fix them. Don't try to do anything. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit in this segment because I've been around people who are moderately to severely depressed in terms of, just the environment that they're in. I've had close friends of mine from high school who, for no fault of their own, were in such an environment that they saw no other way out. Were they depressed? Did they take Zoloft or Xanax or any of those, any of those types of drugs prescribed to them? I don't know if they did or not. Was it the fault of the drug companies? Well, nobody's going to say anything. But I've been around people who have, on one side, been so severely depressed that they've wanted to go away permanently. They've wanted to commit suicide. I don't know how many hours I've sat with people and talked with them and talked them out of it and talked them through it. And I don't know how many hours. I can't count the hours. But I've had people call me at 2:30, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning when I've had to get up the next day and go to work. I didn't care. I told them to call me. Call me. Doesn't matter. Day, night, whatever. But I can tell you this much. I know people who have been moderately to up to moderately depressed clinically, showing me the evidence that this is what their psychiatrist has told them. And the drugs that they were prescribed, and for years they'd be taking these drugs, but they felt like they were off somewhere, somehow. And I've known these people to literally get off and detox themselves from these drugs and be really, really normal, everyday people once they got out of their environment. Okay? I've known women who were abused that were clinically diagnosed as being depressed, taking drugs. But once they remove themselves, or I help them, and their friends remove them from the environment they were in, they no longer had to do that. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, that's good for some people, but not for most. There's over, No, I don't believe the statistics. I never have and I never will. I don't believe that the drugs like Zoloft and Xanax and all these other antidepressants will ever make you better or cure you from whatever is ailing you. It's a change of environment, change of mind, and an acceptance and a personal responsibility that goes along with all of it that helps you get better. Now, what happened to Robin Williams? What happened to Kurt Cobain? What happened to Freddie Prinze? What happened to many other people? There's only one thing that was a solid theme through their life. They were in an environment where people told them, oh, you can get better if you did this. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened with Freddie Prinze or Kurt Cobain or Robin Williams. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there is that area. I don't care if you're a teacher, if you're a motivational speaker, if you're a preacher, or if you're, a truck driver or a retail sales clerk. It doesn't matter. It's the environment in which you are in. At first, the thoughts become oppressive. It's like squeezing a sponge. I use that. It's like squeezing a sponge. And all that information, all that, everybody's telling you, oh, you're fine, you're this, you're that, but you know inside of you something's wrong. Well, others convince you to do something. So what they do is they take those oppressive thoughts and they convince you that they're real, so they suppress you from ever trying to find any cures whatsoever. And they suppress those thoughts within you. They suppress those. Don't go this way. Don't do this. And they suppress you and they convince you that those thoughts are the way that it is. And then all of a sudden, at some point, you don't feel right, and they're trying to convince you that you need psychiatric help or this, that, and the other. So they then continually push you into a depressive state. And you yourself might be in that, doing that to yourself. So the depression is pushed down, and that's what the word depression means, compacting or pushing down or whatever it is. You can go to dictionary.com or reach up on your bookshelf and grab your dictionary and look at it. Look under the words oppression, suppression, and depression, and you'll see the cycle. And there's more to it than just that. Those are just the main catalysts of people who are moderately and severely depressed. I've had my ex-wife tell me, oh, you're depressed about something, you should see somebody. No, I'm not. I had to go for a physical, and I had my doctor in Lodi, California check me out, and I asked him, I said, here's this, and I told him, what, at that time I was married, and I told him what my wife said, and he looked at me and he goes, you're not depressed. I can tell you that right now. You don't even strike me as being depressed. It's okay. I know I'm not. I know that I have moments where I'm sad. Everybody does. I know at moments I feel there's a loss. Everybody does. But I'm not depressed. So how do we get over this? How do we bring ourselves to accepting the flaws and faults and triumphs throughout all the tribulations in our life? How can we accept those things? Well, from my perspective, from my experiences in life, I've had to accept myself for who I am. I'm not perfect. I don't walk on water. I don't raise the dead. I don't do any of that. I'm me. I have my flaws. I accept those. I have my faults. I accept those. I'm impatient. I'm this. I get angry. Yeah, it's all part of it. But it's part of who I am. Now, can I cure those things? Of course I can. I can just look back and go, 15 years ago this happened and that was a mistake. 7 years ago, 2 years ago this happened, that was a mistake. And I can just learn from every day. Every step we take, from my own experiences, mind you, every step I took after becoming sober and clean and doing all that cold turkey on my own, no help whatsoever, I taught myself that every step that I took was a learning experience. And I've taken everything from my past and stuck it off to the side for a minute, and I learned how to walk again. And each step I took was not a step of, hey, no. Every step was, wow, I made it there. Cool. I'm grateful that I can take this step. Right on. And I'd take one more step, take another step, take another step. And it worked out to where after 25, 26 years, I'm almost I'm almost running because I know so much and I understand so much and I understand myself so much. Other people don't. Other people say, well, you're this type of person. Really? Have you sat down and talked with me at all? Well, you seem to strike me as a person that... And then they tell me, and I'm like, well, you're full of BS. Where in the hell did you hear that from? Have you sat down with me over the years and talked with me? Have you gone out to lunch with me or whatever? No, but I can just tell. Really? Okay, you're projecting. Don't do that. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to bring that up because it is everyone's personal experience that you learn from. Everyone has their own personal experience that gives them that opportunity to learn something. And when you have those moments of epiphanies, like, oh my God, this is, when you have those types of moments, the aha moments that I like to call them, those are the moments that you have to cherish and hold on to. And if you're in any way, shape, or form feeling at a loss or feeling like something's not quite right or anything of that nature, go talk to someone. Seriously, I'm not a doctor, by trade. I have degrees and all, but I'm not a doctor. So I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just saying, you got your friends, you got your family, there they are. You feel, kind of down a little bit, go talk to them. That's all I'm saying. And overall, trust that gut feeling you have. Trust that gut feeling you have. If your gut feeling one day you wake up like at 4:30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you get a feeling like you should call your friend right at that moment, don't hesitate. Call your friend right at that moment. Or if you're out and about and you get this feeling like you got to call your mother right then and there. Don't hesitate. Even if it's nothing, even if you talk to your mother, and your mother says, or your father says, everything's fine, dear, I don't know why, But if you get that urging as you're talking to them, like something is going to happen to them, just say, you know what, I got a feeling, and just, bear with me, and tell them what you feel. Because you never know. You might have just saved them, stopped them for 2 or 3 minutes before they had to go somewhere and pull out of the driveway. Who knows? There may have been a drunk driver on the road that would have slammed into your mom or dad's car and killed them. Who knows? Something like that, and I've heard stories like that for many, many years. People, they sit there and they miss their flight, or they said, yeah, and they go up to the flight person there, the ticket taker, and say, what's the next plane out of here? And they tell them, oh, okay, I'll take that one. Is this still good? Yeah, okay, I'll take that one. Then they find out the plane they were going to be on crashed. Okay, so there's this whole intuitive process, this gut feeling that you have. So if you have it and it kicks up and you get a feeling, go with it. I've had too many people in my life and my family's life feel like there wasn't a way out, so they took it themselves. And I just, that's not a feeling that you want to feel. That's not something you want to have in you, to know that maybe you could have done something, but then again, maybe you should have done something. And when that gut feeling tells you, hey, call your friend right now, you get that urge to call your friend. I don't give a crap if you just got up and you're 5 minutes before leaving for work, you call your friend. You call your mom, call your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, whatever. You call them. I can tell you stories about friends calling me and telling me about what's happening to them, and I just sit there for, a while talking to them and talking them out of whatever it is they were going to do. And no, I'm not saying taking themselves out or anything, but they just had this feeling like they, this trip that they were going to go on, they shouldn't. And so they called me and they said, I didn't go on the trip because I just had a feeling, and they find out certain things happen and they would have been in the middle of it and all this. I have experienced all of that. And I've had to call friends too, saying, hey, don't leave right now. I know what you're, something, don't do this, don't do that. And I've done that. And I've tried to stop my friends from doing certain things, and it didn't happen. And the ultimate, happened, and they're no longer with me. They're no longer part of this living world anymore. So stuff like that happens as well. But like I said before the break, depression. No one can hear you scream. It's sometimes that bad. So if you know anyone, please, 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 or if you yourself are suffering and feel something wrong, and please go get checked out. Call your family, call your friends, call your doctor, doesn't matter. Go get checked out. I know many people who have depression or whatever it is that are functioning. They go to work, they go to school, they have fun, they enjoy life, they bowl, they golf. So check it out. Go for a little break right now. I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go away. Stick around. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast.
Hey there, I'm Big Tiny, and I'm the host of Big Tiny's Oldies and More. And we're playing music that you just love to hear from the 50s to the 90s. So check us out Monday through Friday and see what we're playing right here on Spreaker.com.
Free Talk Live.
When you call a government bureaucracy, more often than not, the person who you talk to will not know the answer to your question, but they'll tell you they think they know who the person is that has the answer, and they will pass the buck to that other person, and if they happen to pick up the phone, they'll usually pass on the buck, or you'll leave a voicemail and never hear back from anybody.
Right. I mean, I wasn't being rude at the PSA at all. The third person I talked to, she was getting pretty hot under the collar. It's like, what are you being so angry for? I'm just asking regular questions any person would.
Well, she's probably upset that she had to pick up her phone and talk to one of the little peons like you.
She's probably annoyed at her underlings who actually gave you her phone number and let you get through to her.
Yeah, that's probably the case. She just wants to play solitaire, and you interrupted her game, or she just wants to surf on the internet, and you just ruined her day.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Join the National Down Syndrome Society's My Great Story campaign
to honor and celebrate the amazing stories of the 400,000 Americans with Down syndrome.
If you have Down syndrome, tell us about your achievements, dreams, and aspirations.
If you know someone who has Down syndrome, tell us how they've inspired you.
Visit ndss.org/stories to share your great story.
We gotta keep meeting like this.
I've lots of playthings, a dolly or two. We live in the house across the way.
Well, that was new.
Is there any insanity in your family? Ain't it awful?
Attention passengers, this is your captain speaking. Please fasten your seatbelts. The approach will get a little rough.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. Defending liberty and freedom. Fighting the New World Order. This is the Free America Radio Network. Hey, you folks, welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast. How are you today? Are you doing good? Are you smiling? Are you up and about? Are you hanging out with your family? Anyway, hey, we got a lot of stuff going on. I want to remind you that the views expressed live is going to be on today. I will be here bright and early at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, or wherever you are at. And to give you a heads up, I don't have much on the Facebook page at Free America Radio. But I will give you a preview of what I do have. So Free America Radio on Facebook. Of course, I've read some headlines earlier from DMLdaily.com. Cartel violence infiltrates rural U.S. as police crack down in big cities. From Rahm Emanuel City, Chicago. Chicago police chief, law-abiding gun owners corrupt, endanger public safety. He is a stupid person. From Veterans Today, this one I want to talk about now because it's a little strange. I've heard about this, but I never thought that I would ever see a story like this. So, from what is this? VeteransToday.com. defunct Boeing laser project, quote unquote, mysteriously reappears. Reports include photographic evidence reveal that Israel is using an energy weapon to attack targets in Gaza. The destructive beam, thought to be the high-energy laser, is emitted from a plane identified as a Boeing KC-707, originally configured for electronic warfare. Those observing the attack cite a beam from a 4-engine jet hitting a target which immediately turns white hot. After these attacks, the target area is then hit with either bombs or artillery to destroy evidence of the use of an American-designed and built energy weapon illegally given to Israel. It goes into the background of it all, which I will share on the views expressed live today and tell you everything that you need to know. I'm going to put this up on, this is already on Free America Radio Facebook page. But this type of technology has been around for quite some time. And not a lot of people really understand it. They just think it's a conspiracy theory. No, it's not. Okay? It's not. And when you understand what this is all about, once you understand who the controllers are, I don't think you're going to have any disagreement that our government doesn't care one iota about you. I really don't think so. I could be wrong. You might think the government is just a wonderful, fantastic thing, and you're pleased as punch by them, and everything they're doing is just fine according to you. But let me give you a reality check that won't bounce. You're being duped. You're being played. You're being skull-plugged by the best of them in Washington, D.C. There's not one moment that I don't look at Washington, D.C. and wonder how those morons got to be elected. There's not one moment that I don't look at Washington, D.C. and wonder just how bad, how duped, how stupid many people are to vote these criminals into this 10-mile square area in Delaware and Virginia, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why is it that we have an administration where Congress is totally irrelevant? They can do what they do and try to stop what they stop from the president and his, people, but it's never going to stop because Congress doesn't have the balls to stand up to the president and just say, "We've had enough of you, get out." They don't have the balls to do that. By the way, it's both parties, not just one. So when you look at this regime, my question is, why are you even believing the crap that comes out of there? Okay? This is breaking from the FAA. FAA issues flight warning over Ferguson, Missouri, effective immediately. And I'll put this up on Free America Radio Facebook page. I just saw this crossing the main feed of Facebook. Some people, no, you can't believe everything on the internet. Yeah, go stick your head in the sand. Airspace, Ferguson, Missouri, temporary flight restriction within area defined as 3. It shows all the coordinates there. law enforcement operation pursuant to 14 CFR Section 91.137A. Let me spell this out for you. Pursuant to 14 CFR Section 91.137, and in parentheses it has a capital A. In another parentheses, it has a number 1. Temporary flight restrictions are in effect. Only relief aircraft operations under direction of St. Louis County Police Department are authorized in the airspace. St. Louis County Police Department, you can telephone them as well. It's there. It's on Free America Radio on Facebook. So many things are going on. So many things. Obama administration released more than 600 illegal immigrants with criminal convictions. Homeland Security broke law. Military researches robot fighter pilots that fire weapons. Okay. I'm going to be talking about that on the Views Expressed live today. U.S. actions in Iraq fueled a rise of a rebel. ISIS leader was released from detention camp in 2009. Islamic State carves jihadist hub in heart of the Middle East. And Pentagon may send more advisors. We'll be talking about that as well coming up. The advisors. Huh. Is that what they are called now? No. I remember looking through history and having seen some sections of things that I was reading about Vietnam, about the French, about 1957 to 64. The French finally called on us to bring advisors over there as well. And, of course, the Gulf of Tonkin, false flag event in 1964 led us into Vietnam, where the advisors were trying to discuss how to bring peace to the North and South Vietnamese, and, well, it didn't go so well, did it? So anyway, I find it incredibly odd that people don't realize that history is repeating itself. I find it incredibly odd that people cannot grasp the facts. In other words, you'll have to admit that they're facts before you understand them, before you grasp them. Primarily, I don't see people accepting anything that I'm saying, or that anybody else that is outside of the state-run media. It's just odd to me that people aren't really believing these things. And I understand why, and that's perfectly okay. I understand why. This is fine, okay? But you cannot dismiss the facts. You can't disregard them. There they are in your face right there. And if you even turn yourself away from it and deny it, believe me, it'll come back to bite you in the ass. It's happened to me. I can't even count. That's why I say if I'm wrong, I'll admit when I'm wrong. Why? Because it's called personal responsibility. I don't want to share anything with anybody that isn't truthful or factual. That's just the name of the game for me. So, if a person insists that I'm wrong, the burden of proof is on them. Well, I went to Snopes.com. Yeah, that's a BS site, and I don't want to hear it anymore. Well, they share some truth. No, they don't. Snopes has been snoped, okay? Deep investigation, and people have put up their information about Snopes. So I don't want to hear it. Well, you can't believe everything on the internet. Well, that's why you need to get a brain cell in your head that actually operates so you can go and do your own research elsewhere other than the internet. There's this big thing in your city with a whole lot of books and research material called a library. How about hitting that up once in a while? Well, things just don't add up the way that they should, and we just should get used to it. No. Question everything. I don't give a crap if it's your teacher or your boss. Question everything. If you find that it's going to benefit you in the end, okay, cool. Go with it. But if you find that it's questionable and that you just don't know, you just got a bad feeling about that, don't do it. Now, I'm not saying what to do. I'm just using all of that as a suggestion. Don't go to your boss and say, I'm not going to do anything for you because I feel it's bad. No, don't do that. That's stupid. It has nothing to do with self-responsibility. So judge the situation and circumstance and the environment yourself and decide what you want to do, but always follow your gut feeling. If that gut feeling says, don't do that, then I would suggest not doing it. The thing is, folks, we've got a world that is come unglued. We've got a country that is taken over by communist and Muslim Brotherhood people. We have a situation in our government that causes us to question the sanity of those 535 people that we so-called or supposedly voted into office. And we are at the brink of literally losing this country because of our lack of, number one, our lack of knowledge, number two, lack of understanding, and possibly, number three, our lack of proactive involvement in getting this country back. I know people like Brian Lang over at LiveTruthRadio.com. He goes out almost every weekend to the overpasses, overpassesforamerica.com. I mean, he goes and supports them. So if there's any movement in your city for getting rid of some of your corrupt city council members or, excuse me, or, getting rid of the NDAA or Monsanto or Common Core, if there's any protests going on in your city and you feel strongly about that, then go out and help them. Oh, and by the way, for those, just to give you an FYI, for those people that want to come against those that are protesting out there against this stuff, for those that are adamantly out there yelling and screaming, to stop these protesters, there's this thing that the Supreme Court said, and it's called a heckler's veto. So if you stop me from trying to express my First Amendment right, the city police or the county sheriff has the law on their side and this Supreme Court decision to have your ass arrested from stopping me and my First Amendment. So don't even think about coming against me or anybody else protesting. You either look at it, understand it, and see what it's all about, or stay home. If you want to protest Monsanto or Common Core or your city council, you have a right to do that, and no one has a right to come up and bully you or pressure you or protest against you. The officers, the law enforcement officers in your city have a constitutional right and by law can haul those opposition protesters away in handcuffs. So, if you want to know more about that, you can go to chrisannehall.com. That's KRISANNE Hall.com. chrisannehall.com. And she has that up there. And even just look for it. Go to startpage.com, look up Heckler's Veto, and go look at that up as well. Folks, I don't know. We've had many losses in the last few days. yesterday as well, there was another actor who passed away who was in several well-known daytime dramas. And he passed away, and it wasn't the one that plays Victor. It was somebody else. And also there was another actor who had just filmed a few scenes for Game of Thrones and suddenly passed away. So I don't mean to chuckle, but it seems to me there is and there's a connection. And the connection is that certain things happen for certain reasons. You know, why would your grandmother die? Why would your dog die? You know, there's reasons for that. And I can tell you from my own personal experiences, those things that happen, no matter who they happen to or the circumstance or the situation or the environment, those things are there to teach you a lesson. And I've had people look at me in the eyes and say, I don't want to learn any more lessons if it's going to be this tough. Well, you know, toughen it up. Get a tougher skin, you know, kick the ball down the road and keep on going because, you know, you're in it, you're in it for a lifetime. And you either learn your lessons now the easy way and learn them systematically and methodically and work with yourself and work with other people, or become a hermit and stay in your apartment. Go to a hole-in-the-wall mountain somewhere and just stay there because, what lessons can you not learn that won't benefit you? I've learned my lessons, and I'm still learning lessons. You're never too old to learn lessons. I'm still learning stuff. Oh, my God. Is it tough? Yes, it is. Is it gut-wrenching? Yes, it is. Is it emotionally draining? Yes, it is. But I wake up every day, put my feet on the floor, and I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be able to learn those lessons. Am I stubborn? Oh, yes. Am I generous? Yes. Am I personable? Yes. I'm all those things. Why? Because some days I can be. Some days I want to be that hermit. But most of the time, I look myself in the mirror and say, you know what? Hey, another day. Let's go. What's happening? How can we understand ourselves in life if we're not willing and capable of learning those lessons in life? Every little thing that you encounter is a life lesson. Think about that one. You might meet some person in the store. Somebody may be reaching, for a bunch of bananas on the shelf, but then, they're not quite there and they gotta, why don't you just reach over and hand it to them? Little things like that, Some grandmother with her 2 grandkids are struggling to get out the door of the store or getting into the store. Why don't you open the doors for them? You see somebody struggling, with something. Why don't you help out? That kind of thing. Somebody helped you out, pay it forward. I just don't. I don't understand why people are so critical of those that seem to think that they can't do anything. Oh, then you have the opposite of that, which is, well, not really the opposite, but you have these types of people that say, well, everybody has to give me everything because I deserve it. No, that you're a narcissistic SOB if you think that. You're just an utter idiot if you think that. My daddy had $100 million and I got all the connections in the world and I want everything that I want and I don't want to work for it. Well, you're an ass. You're an idiotic ass. Your daddy didn't get that $100 million sitting on his butt. If I had that kind of money, and I've known people like that. I know wealthy people. And you know what they do? Hard, tough lessons, man. I went to high school with people whose parents were really wealthy. Kids got in trouble, the police came and got them. You know what Dad says? Hold them there. But Dad, I don't just hold them there. just... I'll get them when I'm ready to get them. You just hold them there. You've got to understand that lessons are meant to be learned, not look at those things and go, I don't want to learn nothing today. These things, you can either live your life to live and to love and to laugh and to enjoy, or you can pack up your stuff and go find a hole in the wall somewhere and just live your life out by yourself and not really care. Which one sounds more attractive to you? Okay, which one sounds more productive, gives you more incentive? I mean, you don't want to be anywhere in life except where you want to be. So why are you thinking that you shouldn't, have to learn lessons along the way? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, enough of that. If that has helped you in any way, shape, or form, please let me know. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I'm going to take a little break. A little small one. Not much. Not long. I'll be right back after this. Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Hey, folks, how you doing? Welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast, 12th of August, 2014. Getting ready to get out of here. Come join me on the Views Express live today, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network. Go to freeamericaradio.us for more information. You can also go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Check that out as well. If you like this show, you can go to thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com and check that out. If you want to sponsor either one of the shows, the Views Express Live or this one, please email me. Go to the waynespearceshow.weebly.com site. Go to the sponsors page and go to the sponsors page at freeamericaradio.us. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask. Yeah, please ask. If you want to advertise, email me. We'll work something out. It's not going to break your budget, trust me. So anyway, that's freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. And, again, ask me anything you want. No question is off limits. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. I mean, I'm just that transparent. If I don't know something, I'll let you know. If I'm wrong, I'll admit to it. I don't mind that at all. Oh, yeah. So, come join me also on the Wayne S. Pierce Show tomorrow, Wednesday. Yes. 12 noon Pacific. 3 Eastern. I have a live show tomorrow. Going to get into a lot of stuff and go from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, please email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. Put in the subject line radio so I know you heard this. And I'll talk to you later on the Views Express Live at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network at freeamericaradio.us.